What's going on, y'all? I'm here to kick off the Paradox Pokemon and their now pre-evolutions, or I guess you could say members of the evolutionary line, beginning with Donphan. So, as you can see on screen, Donphan now optionally evolves into either Great Tusk or Iron Treads, and a lot of you who are new here might be thinking, well, why would you ever want to use Donphan if it's going to evolve into these, super cool, whatever, super strong Paradox Pokemon? In this ROM hack, every single Pokemon is reworked entirely. They all get tons of new attention and tools, and pick abilities based on a billion different factors. And I would love to talk about it more, but I do try to keep these videos relatively short. So if you're curious about the exact overall I guess you could say, philosophy behind this hack. And if you're new here, first of all, shout out to you. I appreciate you. I probably should have said it at the beginning because I guarantee you tons of people already clicked off. But if you're still here, shout out to you. If you're new, pause the video, read the description. It explains a lot of the information about this ROM hack. And if you're a returning viewer, I very much appreciate you as always. Also, I just noticed I messed up the format a tiny bit. All right, so yeah, with that all being said, Donphan. So if you're curious about the changes for Great Tusk and Iron Treads, you can check out their videos. I'll flash them on screen super quick just so you can compare at face value, especially if you already know a lot of how these moves work in this game and all this other stuff. So here they are super quickly. Again, they will have their own respective videos explaining them in depth and that type of thing. But the whole point of the evolution line is that Donphan is a genuine option over his now two evolutions. So the most obvious thing is that yes, you can use EVIOLITE now, and that's incredible, especially with Battle Armor. But even with all three abilities, really, Speed Boost I chose logically, given that he is supposed to be rolling around super fast, and I like that. I think that's a lot more interesting than just giving him good speed off rip. Protect is removed. There is, well, it's not removed entirely. It's just extremely limited. So if you are new here and you don't know why that is, you can pause the video and read all this crap. It'll explain all the reasons for that. I also have video explanations and stuff. But yeah, because of Protect being gone, Speed Boost is significantly less overpowered in game. It's still very good, especially on something tankier. It's not that great on something frail, honestly, because again, you don't even get a speed boost if you switch in. For example, with Quick Feet, you switch in, you get your Flame Orb, it triggers immediately, and you outspeed. With Donphan or anything with speed boost, you have to switch in and then burn a turn just to get the speed boost. And then at +1, 65 speed is solid, but it's not that fast. Of course, you're in-game, so you're dealing with in-game speed tiers. You're not dealing with crazy fast, competitive scarf speed tiers. That's not a factor. So 60 base speed, 65 base speed with the 20 guaranteed IVs that you get, and a neutral nature hits 327, which is not bad at all already after one speed boost. I believe that should outspeed. Yeah, that outspeeds base 99. So you outspeed everything base 99 and below, which is already really good because it's a relatively common, 90-95 speed tier. And then of course you can rack up more and more speed boosts, and the more speed boost you get, the less speed EVs you even need to burn. Although with a EVIOLITE, you don't even need that much bulk investment. Anyways, if you're running a EVIOLITE, this doesn't mean that you're going to be running a EVIOLITE every boss fight. Of course, this guy has great stats on his own. EVIOLITE is especially good. It's good for taking hits, obviously, but there's, a lot of time you might want a boosting item. You might want something super simple like just the single-use Quick Claw. Keep in mind this ROM hack is balanced around item claws. I should probably make this bigger, just so it's a little more obvious. Yeah, that's good enough. Because yeah, you might want to use a Quick Claw on somebody else, but for certain boss fights, no, you can just slap that on Donphan. He does also get some priority moves in the form of Accelerock and First Impression, which are pretty good, obviously. The movie learner, you can really just teach whatever coverage you need for any specific boss fight. I mean, Donphan already has always gotten tons of coverage, which is pretty cool. But the main things here is Battle Armor in general is incredible, right? Because it's a ROM hack, so you're fighting, it's intended to be nuzlocked, so having that assurance against crits is great, especially if you're running setup moves like Iron Defense. I mean, dude, Iron Defense, Battle Armor, EVIOLITE is immortal, you make sure speed F, my man does not die. You can also boost your speed up with Flame Wheel or Trailblaze, both of which, Flame Wheel is essentially Fire-type Trailblaze. 60 base power though, which is even stronger than Trailblaze, so those are both really good to boost up your speed as well. And of course he has tons of powerful moves. He's got his good old Earthquake, he's got his Headlong Rush, later on in the game, which is really good with speed boost sets. And just in general, Rough Skin is great with or without Rocky Helmet. Phanpy, I probably should have covered the dry skin on Phanpy flavor. So if you read the Pokedex, it talks about Phanpy. In general it's an elephant, right? So they like the water. A lot of people misinterpret dry skin as literal dry skin. That isn't necessarily what it means. It's more just they like the rain because they like to stay moisturized. It doesn't mean that their skin is inherently dry. Uh, like frog Pokemon, for example, makes sense for dry skin because it's like an amphibious skin type of ability. However, Phanpy does like to stay wet if you read the Pokedex, so that's why they would heal in the rain and heal from water and stuff. Um, like here it says they can be seen drying their soaking wet bodies. They thoroughly douse each other with water. It uses its long nose to shower itself. I mean, Phanpy even got Water Gun in old gens as like a nod to the whole water theme of their baby selves. Donphan is much less water related, but Phanpy does have that connection to water and bathing and water and stuff. So I think Dry Skin's a cool little ability. You could even, in theory, keep Phanpy. This goes for a lot of pre-evolutions. You could, in theory, keep Phanpy past level 30, either for a tech, for a specific boss fight, or just if you really like Phanpy. I mean, it's got the stats for it. Hustle's great. Early game Hustle is great, not only because Wide Lens is buffed to make things never miss, so you can slap on Wide Lens, and you can run any move and not miss anymore. However, there are also some moves. Jesus, I keep clicking the wrong tabs. There are some because I move them around. That's why. There are some moves that flat out don't miss. The most important for Phanpy being Stomping Tantrum. That's huge. Also, Happy Slam and Heat Crash don't miss as well. So you don't even have to run Wide Lens to hit those. Stomping Tantrum, of course, being Stab, so that's the best of them. But all the Lunge as well, that doesn't miss. So there's a lot of nice no missing moves. And then, of course, that Wide Lens, very, very good if you need that extra power boost for certain boss fights, for certain matchups, certain situations. And then, of course, Rough Skin's obviously very good. It fits Phanpy a bit less than it fits Donphan, but it still fits Phanpy fine, in my opinion. It's this little ground-type elephant guy. But it does fit Donphan a hell of a lot better. And as for why I chose Hustle for Phanpy, again, if you read the Pokedex, as a sign of affection, it bones with its snout. It's so strong it might send you flying. So, all this. It's a baby elephant, right? Like, look, it says, if Phanpy. Oh my God, this is a wild text entry. Actually, I didn't read this one. If Phanpy is swinging its trunk around your arm and gets hit by it, your arm bone will shatter. That's fucking wild, bro. And like, there's even more talking about washing. It plays in mud. It lives in nests on a riverbank, so that's very, very fitting for Dry Skin. And again, Hustle too, just the fact that it's super strong. I mean, 80 base attack with Hustle. I think technically it does a lot more damage than Donphan on paper. Of course, Donphan doesn't have to run Hustle for the damage, and you get your utility abilities or your speed boost alongside the power. And then, of course, you have your two evolutions who get boosting abilities in Brazen, which I'll cover. But that's one reason to evolve is for the power, because the evolutions have more boosting abilities. And overall, they just function very differently. I can briefly touch on them here. They both have speed abilities in Volt Rush and Solar Rush. They have Brazen for boosting, and then they get Resilient and Filter for defensive abilities. So you can evolve if you want, of course. It's up to your personal preferences, your playstyle, the point in the game you're at, the type of run you're doing. All sorts of factors will play into what you pick, So it's really up to you. But yeah, Donphan, super, super fun. Again, no Protect, but you can still rack up speed boost with Sediment. Sediment is ground type recover. That's really good, especially, in Sand it's even better, but even just flat out, it gives you that healing. And because you have Battle Armor, you can't be crit, so you can also use Sediment plus Battle Armor to stall things out. Rough Skin Rocky Helmet Sediment is really good. You're not always going to want that extra EVIOLITE bulk. You might want that extra chip from the helmet or something else, some type of boosting ability, whatever it is. There's all sorts of situations where you can make your Donphan super flexible. Battle Cry is absolutely insane with Battle Armor. Battle Cry essentially drops attack and special attack by -2, and it's 2 PP. So with Battle Armor, that makes him, you click that once, you're not dying to whatever's in front of you at that point. So that's an incredible, stall-y type of tactic. You can then get the kill safely. Very, 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 very good ability. And then again, logically, the choice for Battle Armor, I hope, is pretty obvious, but if it's not, I'll read some deck stuff. It has a rugged hide, first of all, which is why I chose Rough Skin, but it's got a hard body, massive strength, and then the speed boost, again, is because it's all about rolling into a ball and charging and stuff, so I see the idea of it, like, picking up speed or building up speed as it goes. But, what is it called? Yeah, it's covered in a tough hide, so being hit by a car won't phase this Pokemon. It's kind of funny, it's extremely susceptible to rain, so that's another cool thing for it losing Dry Skin when it evolves. It's kind of cool, Phanpy likes the water, but Donphan doesn't. But yeah, you got tons of powerful moves. You got Strength, which is Rock-type Double-Edge, Superpower, which is Physical Draco Meteor now, physical fighting type Draco Meteor. You've got Head Smash, which is accurate, but it's 50% recoil and drops your defenses. That's super strong for getting multiple kills in a row. If you want to do like some speed boost, Head Smash crap, same with Headlong Rush. I mean, so many different ways you can build this guy. Tons of awesome coverages. You can read all of these on the screen right now. I mean, I don't need to list every single one. But the stuff like Avalanche is especially good with EVIOLITE bulky sets because it's 140 power now. With it's 70 power, so it's 140 if you get hit first, and that's great in conjunction with battle armor or rough skin. I mean, it's so fun to use this guy, man. So many different ways you can build him. I know I keep repeating that, but it really is true. I balance every mon to be used in multiple different ways. So yeah, utility Donphan is great. Defensive Donphan, bulky offensive Donphan, fast offensive Donphan. I mean, there's so many ways you can make him work depending on the specific fight that you're taking on. And that's just Donphan, he still has those 2 evolution options. So you could delay, for example, for a specific matchup, or just until you feel like evolving. You don't have to evolve straight away at 45. They do evolve at 45 like most other, pretty much all other 3-stage pseudos. Technically, Donphan is a part of a pseudo line now. Technically, I know paradoxes aren't actually pseudos, they're more like actual legendaries, but in terms of BST thresholds, they're, hitting 600, so, and they evolve from regular Pokemon, so you can argue they are pseudos in that regard. And because of that, Donphan is then therefore going to be viable as its own Pokemon over its evolutions. But yeah, I mean, even stuff like counter battle armor is going to be so many ways you can take advantage of him. That Flame Wheel boosting your speed up with speed boost, so you can, for example, switch him in on something that's weakened already, and then click Flame Wheel to finish him off, and then you get +2 speed because you get the speed boost too. That's super good. Then you can outspeed the next one that comes in and hit him with a super strong coverage move or just your stab, whatever it is. So that's awesome. There's not too much else I need to cover. I mean, again, Iron Defense, like body press stuff is great with battle armor as well. This color is off. There we go. That was bothering me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Temper Flare, that's, Temper Flare and Stone Edge or Wicked Blow variants. They can't be used twice in a row, but they're very strong for, like, burst damage or whatever. And, of course, with Speed Boost, you can switch your moves. So you can click Stone Edge for no drawback and then click Temper Flare on the next one or whatever, Earthquake, whatever fucking move. You get tons of Wild Charge, Play Rough. All of these are 100% accurate, 100 base power, recoil. Mega Horn is bug type close combat. So all that stuff is super great coverage. And overall, yeah, just an absolute blast of a Pokemon to use. Even stuff like U-Turn is great, on bulky battle armor or rough skin sets. But yeah, that Battle Cry battle armor is super fucking good, dude. Like, really good. Super reliable. I would say, like, if you want to play, like, in terms of what's the most reliable, it definitely would be Donphan, but that doesn't, everything still works, regardless of what's most reliable in a Nuzlocke. Like, everything still does work and have its own cool things that it can do. For example, the evolutions can get that speed boost immediately with their abilities. They can get +2 speed basically in one turn. Meanwhile, Donphan has to, like, sit there and build up his speed. Again, at +1, he's not slow. If you get lucky to get a plus speed nature, you're going crazy. I mean, at this point, you're outspeeding base 110. I think it's like 112. Yeah, 113 even. Yeah, you're outspeeding base 113 if you get a plus speed nature Donphan, if you get lucky. But that's not that's not balanced around it. It's balanced around the neutral nature, which is most likely what you're going to be getting, or probability wise. So yeah, super fun. And then again, after 2 speed boost, you outspeed pretty much the whole game. Literally the whole game at that point after 2 speed boosts. So that's super good. Rapid Spin also gives you a speed boost, but I mean, there's some situations where you might want to use that over Flame Wheel. Hazards are not much of a factor in game, but once in a while, maybe the AI will use Sticky Web or Toxic Spikes. Maybe one will use Stealth Rock at most. So, having that Rapid Spin with the Movie Lander could be nice in those situations, but mostly you're using it to boost your speed up. It'd be pretty cool if you got like Terra Normal. That'd be pretty cool. Terra Normal, Double Edge, or Giga Impact, or other stuff like that would be pretty neat. Giga Impact being the same thing as Superpower, right? It's a physical Draco Meteor variant. Ice Spinner also gives you +1 speed, so that's the same thing as Flame Wheel. It's just Ice type, so both of those you can use to finish something off and then get +2 speed in one turn with speed boost. Or you can use it with Battle Armor or Rough Skin, and just start clicking that. You could do that too. I would say honestly, in some ways it's a little bit busted, like with the bulk up Battle Armor, with the speed boosting moves, like. It is definitely cheesable with that battle armor because again you cannot be crit, so it removes a lot of the risk of using these types of setup moves, or sitting on things for a while to get up a bunch of stats. Definitely exploitable, but that's more for another update or something, or an optional anti-setup rule or something. But that's again future problems to deal with. Yeah, overall, tons of fun moves. There's a bunch of other moves I'm not even covering that you guys can hopefully read on the screen and see what they get access to. But overall, Donphan's the GOAT, super, super cool. Last thing I didn't cover yet is high horsepower. Also exclusive access to Stealth Rock, so if you've looked at my previous videos, you probably are accustomed to Stealth Rock and Spikes being TMs, but recently I removed them from the TM pool because I think they're a bit too cheesy with Movie Learner, because I think versus AI, there's no reason for me to give them, like, they don't know how to use hazard control. It's just not, they're not human beings. They don't know how to, like, switch around and punish hazards or anything. That's not how it works. And it's also not nearly as useful versus AI because they're only switching in once most times. However, it's still cheesy, especially for like mono type teams. So that's why Stealth Rock is the way it is now. I don't really like giving the player like infinite access to that, but I do think certain Pokemon getting a level up is cool as like an exclusive tool. So maybe a third of the Pokemon that you've seen so far that had Stealth Rock and Spikes have it still. Most of them lost it. So you can go check out the Google Sheet and see for yourself what still has it. Mostly for flavor, like is what I let people Pokemon keep it. But yeah, last thing, high horsepower, very very strong, exclusive cheese move, level 100, so you can't get it on the evolutions. Yeah, it's really good, especially with speed boost, because you can switch them in and then click high horsepower and then either one-shot something and get a free speed boost, or if you don't one-shot them, you at least get them in range for something else, and then you can maybe outspeed them the next turn after the high horsepower, and then you kill them, then you get +2, and now you're outspeeding everything. So super super fun with speed boosts. Also just a good tool in general. Battle armor, switch him in, get that high horsepower, kill something, get in safely, switch out. Rough skin, switch in, deal some chip damage with rough skin, rocky helmet, put him in range for the priority high horsepower, all that type of shit. And that's another reason to keep Donphan the whole game, is because the evolutions don't get access to that, because it would be really fucking broken on them. It's pretty broken on Donphan to begin with, but it's cool. I think it's cool to incentivize people to keep the pre-evolve form, because people are inherently going to want to evolve into the cool paradox forms, which I don't blame you. I probably will too, at least on my, if I get a Donphan earlier. But again, game's meant to be replayed a bunch, so you could always use Donphan in a different run if you use his evolutions the first time around. Yeah, thank you for listening to the end. Shout out to you if you made it. A little bit of a longer one, I know, but yeah, peace.